obviously the landscape of blockchain as a whole has changed significantly since 2017 when EOS was announced, right? 2017, put yourself back at that time. CryptoKitties had just taken down Ethereum. Gen 3 layer 1 blockchains did not exist yet. And so we were caught in this paradigm of we've got smart contract platforms, but we don't have any that can scale because there was no demand for it yet. 2017, 2018 came about, ICO summer, and you've got basically for the first time the idea that blockchain technology might be used at scale, and so they need to be able to scale. EOS comes about as one of those first blockchains, and the dream that it set, the vision that it set was purpose built, I think, for that time. But we're now in 2025. Things have changed. We have standards across the board. For example, EVM is to a certain extent become a standard. We've got more integration within institutional space. With last year, the Bitcoin ETFs being approved in the United States, we're seeing that the capital that is in the blockchain ecosystem has matured significantly since, let's say, 2017. The kind of stakeholders that are here, the kind of products that they're looking for, even just looking at the tech and what it can now do compared to what it could do in 2017. 2017, 2018, everybody was focused on TPS. TPS obviously is still very important, but it's not as relevant as it is today. There's more to it than that. And so the ecosystem has evolved, and we've evolved in the background as well in terms of what we've been working on and the direction that we've been heading in. I've been in the blockchain space since 2010, give or take. I started mining Bitcoin very early on, and I didn't really jump into blockchain as in full time and start developing projects until later on. But I was very early on looking at the technology, mining, and seeing the potential for this. I did not necessarily see the financial potentials for it. And so, no, I did not keep any of the Bitcoin that I mined. I used to spend them and basically buy more mining capacity. But fast forward to 2017, 2016, 2017, I had a renewed interest in blockchain technologies. I was working as an economist for the federal government here in Canada. 2017, ICO summer, I started exploring projects very, very deeply and started reading basically all white papers. So put yourself back in 2017, projects were launching every day, many, many projects. And EOS was one of those projects that looked very promising. You had founders that had run previous projects and they had had experience running in projects on the technical front. They were raising tremendous amount of capitals and they were making very big, very bold commitments to the ecosystem in a different way, right? People were experimenting with different consensus algorithms, experimenting with different ways of being able to do token allocation in terms of the initial distribution, in terms of the token raise as well. And EOS just really fit all the check boxes that I was looking for. It was innovative. It seemed to be backed by a really strong team. It was raising a lot of capital from a technical point of view. It seemed like it had a really bright future and it had learned from previous projects. And so it was going to position itself as an underlying operating system. And I really believed at that time that what we needed was something that'd be able to take us into the future. I thought that at that time, blockchain is here, we've got demand, and we need something that's going to be able to deliver on that demand, essentially supply. And EOS really checked all of that. And alongside with partners, we launched a validator on EOS, and we quickly became one of the top validators on the network. But over time, we saw that a lot of those promises and those commitments that were made during the token sale were not being delivered on. 3.5 years ago, in summer of 2021, or I guess 4 years ago almost now, I left the validator space and I created the foundation. The foundation was created to basically address a need and a gap that I saw within the ecosystem, where funding was lacking, coordination was lacking. We didn't really have any direction. We had been left to a certain extent very disorganized and in chaos. There was no foundation had been set at the onset, and so there was no somewhat coordinating force, a centralizing force. And obviously, blockchain is known for decentralization, but there are definitely some efficiencies and some benefits to centralization, and we were missing that. We were too decentralized, and so creating the foundation really gave us guiding point or a direction to march in. And then over the last couple of years, we started adding different functions and functionalities to the ecosystem. We created a venture arm. We created an incubator in the form of labs. Multiple different components were added as we basically built the ecosystem from the ground up. We essentially had to restart with no capital, no token sale. We essentially inherited the project without necessarily, we inherited zero of the capital that was done. And so it brought about its own challenges. But now it really gave us that underlying resilience that I think a lot of products don't have. And so that gives us a huge advantage going into the future because we built it from the ground up. We did not inherit any capital. We did not run an ICO. And so we really had to start from zero and create very, very, very solid foundations to what is now known as Vaulta.
Hey, if you like this video, don't forget to watch a full episode and also check the links in the description below.